This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning for January 22, 2023, ex-cop shot dead at a St. Thomas home. An ex-policeman was shot and killed at his home in Seaford, St. Thomas on Saturday night. He has been identified as Andrew Thomas, who had been assigned to the St. Andrew North Police Division. Reports are that Thomas was leaving his house about 8:30 p.m. when on reaching his gate, he was pounced upon by unknown assailants and shot multiple times. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Seaford police is investigating the matter. Former employee details multiple instances of child abuse at a midday preschool. A former caregiver who videotaped the clobbering of a 3-year-old baby at a St. James early childhood institution says she witnessed the beating and abuse of at least 7 other children while employed there. The new Discoveries Daycare and a preschool, owned and operated by retired teacher Marcia White and her daughter in Catherine Mount, Montego Bay, was ordered closed by Minister of Education Favour Williams on Friday. The school has been operating at the location since 2021. Latoya Gray Allen, who worked at the educational institution for a year, released a series of voice notes Saturday afternoon, stating that children who could not speak well were often beaten. She told the news that children were beaten on the soles of their feet so the abuser could not be detected. Gray Allen was fired in December 2022, but said she started videotaping the acts of abuse on the babies because what I witnessed could not continue. One of those videos went viral last Thursday after it was released on social media, showing the beating of the 3-year-old with a ruler in a bathroom while another child was seen lying on the bare tiles. The preschool and the daycare, which has 63 children enrolled, will not be reopening anytime soon, says the chairman of the Early Childhood Commission, Tricia Williams-Singh, who noted that personnel from the commission did their due diligence and uncovered some startling information. She said the commission was able to confirm the things seen in the video, pointing out to the news that the Early Childhood Act of 2005 was clear. Section 16 speaks to corporal punishment, which shall not be inflicted on a child in an early childhood institution, Williams-Singh reminded. She added that immediately after the commission received the report of the abuse, an inspector visited the school. When the news asked the former caregiver why she did not alert the authorities before, she said she was scared, but she gave hints to some of the parents. She said she released the video after hearing that another child was beaten recently. I cried when I left the school because all I could remember was how she would pull on the ears of one of the children or his hair and hand. She said another child was punished by being locked in the bathroom. Former CEO says they were unaware Trackstar was a client of SSL. The mystery surrounding Usain Bolt's missing millions is appearing to deepen as the 2 successive CEOs of the beleaguered Stocks and Securities Limited had no knowledge that the retired athletics powerhouse was their client. Doubt is beginning to surface that the more than $12 million Bolt purportedly held at SSL can be properly accounted for. Former CEO at SSL, Zachary Hardin, said in his early 3 years at SSL, from September 2019 to June 2022, he did not know that the Sprint legend was a client, let alone that he had one of the biggest portfolios with the investment company over the past decade. During my time at SSL, Usain Bolt's name never came up once in a management meeting as a client of SSL. I had no knowledge whatsoever of any client relationship with Usain Bolt or any entity that he may have been a part of, Hardin said in an interview with the news yesterday. Hardin reiterated it just never came up, adding that with a client of Bolt's magnitude, it certainly would have been at the top of the list. He reportedly only learned of the Sprint legend's association with the company when the SSL fraud scandal broke just over a week ago. Equally oblivious to Bolt being an SSL client was the CEO who preceded Hardin, Lamar Harris. Equally oblivious to Bolt being an SSL client was the CEO who preceded Hardin, Lamar Harris. Harris was CEO of SSL between March 2018 and February 2019. But prior to that, she held other senior posts with the group from June 2012 when she was manager, investment banking. Thereafter, she rose to vice president, client services in 2014, and the general manager company secretary from 2015. Asked by the news if she had any recollection of Bolt or any company he was attached to being mentioned as a client of SSL, Harris said she did not recall. Like others, she added, "I am watching this situation unfold. I too believe that the truth will come out as it should." Some 40 clients were reportedly defrauded of approximately Jamaican $3 billion going back almost 10 years. The former SSL wealth advisor at the center of the investigation gave a sworn statement dated January 7, which listed clients from whose accounts she admitted to borrowing varying sums without the account holder's consent. Sports icon Usain Bolt's name was not on that list. Hardin said he is hoping for full compensation for all persons who have suffered losses, including Usain Bolt. "I also expect the acceptance of accountability and culpability by the perpetrators, implementation of additional measures to help safeguard against the repeat of such breaches, and the restoration of investors and the general public's confidence in Jamaica's financial services sector." Attorneys for Bolt have given SSL 10 days up to Friday, January 27, to return the over US $12 million, which was reportedly defrauded. They have warned of legal action in the event that the money is not returned. At the same time, Hardin is distancing himself and his business, Delta Capital Partners, from the SSL saga. He said his private equity firm was not a part of SSL, and while there was an overlap between his tenure at SSL and the formation of Delta with SSL founder Hugh Crosby buying a stake in the company, there is no longer any connection. Hugh never played any active role in the formation of or growth of Delta. He was not an officer of Delta. He was not an employee of Delta, Hardin stressed. Hardin explained that in July 2020, Crosby had taken a stake in Delta at the time of its formation in return for Hardin's continued tenure at SSL. He said Crosby's daughter Sarah had a seat on Delta's board to represent her father's interests. He said there was a parting of ways when he left SSL in June 2022. Sarah resigned from her position as a director of Delta Capital Partners, and Hardin resigned from all boards associated with SSL. An agreement was reached for the repurchase of shares held by Hugh Crosby, and subsequently, he is no longer a shareholder in Delta, Hardin told the news. Hardin said it was never at any time revealed nor brought to his attention that clients' investment funds were being misappropriated while he was CEO of SSL. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.